Hello, Florida colleagues, and welcome back to Marketing for Busy Librarians. This is the final presentation of the 9 short nuggets on practical marketing. And today we're going to be talking about assessment. This is a dry topic for many of us, but it is crucially important. And then we're going to touch on a bit of a wrap-up and a celebration. If you're investing lots of thought, time, energy into a carefully thought out marketing effort, it's important to track how you're doing. People often either glaze over or get a little nervous when they hear words like assessment or evaluation or measurement. But in fact, this can be the fun part. If you continuously track how you're doing, you'll keep everyone engaged, and people involved, staff, volunteers, yourself, will notice changes in the use of your services and programs. Staff will take note, for example, when the number of hits on parts of your website increase, or when they have to set up extra chairs for an SRO program. Your funders, governmental or private, will appreciate your paying attention to the return on investment. You can say clearly, the investment we made in additional staff for adult programming and the marketing we did for that service showed an increase in attendance by XYZ%. This kind of tracking and reporting increases your credibility and focuses your attention. But maybe the key part of ongoing assessment is the ability to tweak or change what isn't working. While it can be discouraging to pour imaginative effort into something and have no results or small results, it can also be exciting to really examine it and figure out why it wasn't working. Make adjustments and then see how that works. In other words, continuous improvement, kind of an old saw in the management literature. It is in the assessment phase that you'll hark back to those specific objectives that you designed and wrote down in the preliminary phase of the market plan. Here you have goals for increased use of a particular part of the collection, let's say, or increased visits by a particular demographic, or greater appreciation of the library indicated by, more FOL memberships, higher contributions, or higher attendance, or more library cards issued. You know the measures that you have decided to track. What if things just aren't going as you expected, with all the tracking and all the reporting? Well, if you set goals, measurable objectives, focus on a carefully crafted message at a particular demographic, but nothing's working, don't despair. Cheer for your imaginative ideas and the guts to try things. One problem many of us in government agencies and nonprofits as well face is a little fear of making mistakes, especially open and obvious, visible public mistakes. Our agencies all appropriately and necessarily focus on accountability and on careful spending of public funds. After all, we are all in the public trust, and we should be accountable. The trouble is, sometimes this approach can overshoot its mark and lead to an internal culture that makes us a little too timid to try something new, which ultimately doesn't provide the best service. These fears can be mitigated if you can demonstrate careful objective setting, careful tracking and reporting. Making mistakes isn't actually the problem. The problem is in not examining your mistakes, figuring out in some detail what went wrong, and making appropriate changes and trying again. And it's important to remember that marketing, while systematic, has as much art as science. Without trying something out, sometimes you just can't know if it'll work. Even things that feel like really great ideas. It's important not to be discouraged if program promotion brought in a paltry audience or website restructure had no special reaction, or even if major branding effort hasn't tracked quite the way you thought it might. Examine what happened, make adjustments, and go again. So now that you've walked or sprinted through a full marketing cycle, assessed how you did and reported your results, tweaked the plans, and moved forward again, it really is time to celebrate. First, pat yourself on the back and give enormous public credit to all the people who helped and participated, from the custodian who put extra effort into making the building more inviting and shiny, to the funders or volunteers who helped, to the entire staff, to everyone who contributed to forming or carrying out the project, particularly frontline staff who might have redoubled their efforts in customer service to deliver promises made. And let your bosses know how things worked. Invite them to celebrate with you. They'll be pleased, and it's an opportunity to stay on their radar. I've known libraries who did such a good job marketing a particular service that some of their sister agencies in county or town government, Parks and Rec especially, consulted with them the next time they were starting a program that needed publicizing and gave them some credibility. This kind of celebration will support that all-important culture of enthusiasm and knowledge in your library and throughout the community in a way that has been a thread throughout this series. Keep setting a bigger table, including more people in your inner circle. Ultimately, you want the library to be the place to be, whether it's the online place to be or the physical place to be. The first place people think of for information, education, self-improvement, and delight. Your community's value of the library will be demonstrated at budget time, and you will wake up in the morning. You will wake up in the morning, eager to get to work in such a well-loved organization. Now, I think top 10 tips are useful shorthand when reviewing a body of knowledge or practice. These are mine, and if you keep them in front of you while you're embarking on or reinvigorating your marketing efforts, it might help. Let's walk through them. First, marketing is honorable. You needn't spin or dissemble. You're building enduring relationships. This is not the same as propaganda, advertising, or just general undignified selling. Marketing is a team sport. Build enthusiasm and knowledge with everyone involved. Everyone in the library has a marketing function at some level or another. If it isn't planned, it's not marketing. Sit down, make a plan, set real objectives, and track your progress. Market your benefits, not your stuff. Describe to people how you can change or improve their life or delight them or give them a really great experience. Be bold. Learn from your mistakes. Try things. Learn, modify them, and try them again. Be bold and courageous and imaginative. Word of mouth is a very powerful method of marketing, of delivering messages for libraries. And in the opinions of many, including me, this is the best tool in your toolkit. Tell your story so your audience can hear you. Tailor the message to the audience. It's a little like being an ambassador. Learn the language of the place where you're going. Understand the language of the people you want to reach and speak in it. Tell your story often, over and over and over again. You want to build ambient awareness throughout the community so the library is in the air and it's something people know about. Listen throughout the process. Talk to people. Ask them what they need, want, think, and feel. Respond. Thank them for suggestions. Thank them for input. Act on them if they're good ones. Use people's own feelings and opinions about the library to build your services and your marketing efforts. And celebrate your successes, especially give credit lavishly and keep extending the library family. You might have ideas about adding to or reordering or changing these top 10 marketing tips. That's just fine, and it might be an interesting exercise as you wind up this introductory course. If you'd like to share your ideas with me, I'd actually be grateful. I'm always learning from other people who are engaged on the ground in marketing libraries. It has been an enormous treat being with you for this short course. It was an experimental format, these short presentations in clumps of 3, combined with 3 online chat sessions. If you could take some time to help the Bureau of Library Development and me adjust things so this model would work better in the future, we'd really be grateful. So please jot down what has been useful and engaging for you and what could have been different or better. And we will touch on that, among other things, during our next and last chat session on September 22nd. Thanks to all of you, and I'll see you then.